Welcome to Always Moving Forward with Renee.
Moving forward.
Happy Sunday to all, and welcome to Always Moving Forward with Renee and my co-host Terrence Stephen Lake. Now, as always, I tell you in the beginning, today is the day that the Lord has made. So what does he want us to do? The Lord wants us to rejoice and be happy because we're in a good day.
Absolutely.
We're in a good day. My co-host, as I said, is Terrence Stephen Lake. He is the author of God's Child. This is a book that you all need to read. You all need to read because, trust me, it's something in this book that each one of us will relate to. It takes you back to when you were growing up.
Yes.
Terrence lives right here, not far, in Southfield, Michigan, with his lovely wife. He is a father of 5 children, grandfather of 19, great-grandfather of 3. But Revelation's 21st verse, 5th chapter states, as he who was seated on the throne said, behold, I am making all things new. Also he said, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. And what did Terrence do? Terrence wrote his words down. He wrote them down in God's Child. But Terrence, let's get right into this book. Because again, welcome back. This is part 2. If you missed part 1, go to bgntvgospel.com or YouTube. Look for Always Moving Forward with Renee, and you can catch Terrence part 1 right there. But Terrence, tell me, we're going to continue on. As a young child, because this is his life, as a young child, were you known as a fighter?
Well, with some people, you would say yes, but I never started any fights, but I would fight. And you had to fight back in the day because, you know, everybody wanted to control their own territory or test you to see where you stood, you know.
Right, this is my lane.
This is my territory, you know.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of fights. And sometimes you get into fights over trivial things, like somebody would speak something about your mother, say something in a negative way. So you would fight.
Right.
And my mother told me, don't fight someone because they talk about me. They don't know anything about me. So I had to learn that the hard way. Mm-hmm. But I always stuck up for myself. I never turned down a fight.
Right. But you know what, Terrence, do you remember, I saw this on Facebook the other day. They said, the question was, do you remember this? Put a stick on a young man's shoulder.
Off, and it was a fight, yes.
And
crazy, but true.
Right,
yes.
Knocked the stick off, and there was a big fight there. But you know what, Terrence, I want you to tell them how they can get in touch with you to pick up this book.
Okay, you can go to my website, which is godschildren.biz, and on my website, you'll see my publishing company, Lulu Publishing, and you can order the book through them, through my website. Mm-hmm. And you can also get my book if you go to your local bookstore. You won't have to pay for the shipping, and you would be supporting your local bookstores, and possibly even get it through the library.
Okay, so it's in the library.
At some libraries.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Remember, the name of this book is God's Child. The author is Terrence Stephen Lake, right here from Michigan. Terrence is from Hamtramck.
Yes.
He grew up there, went to school there, went to church there.
Yes.
I mean, everything was in that little pocket, Hamtramck.
Yes.
So, you know, we surrounded him.
Yes.
Being from Detroit and other surrounding areas, Highland Park, you know, all of us surrounded Terrence. But Terrence, what advice do you have for someone who wants to write a book?
Well, the first thing you got to do is just start writing down your ideals, whatever the subject's going to be, and whether you like it or not, write it down, because you can always go back and edit it or elaborate on it, but you must start by writing it down. If you keep a daily log, write it down, because that's where the spirit is at when you put things in writing. That's how you communicate and get your message across. And we all have a story to tell.
Yes, yes. We all have a story to tell.
And you never know who you're going to help with your story.
That is absolutely right. But tell me, Terrence, when you wrote this book, because you really went into detail, you know, remembering years and everything, did you keep a log or something?
No, I didn't, because I started writing the book, like I said in the first part of the interview, at work, Champion Spark Plug. And I had a good job where I probably worked 2 hours out of the day, so I could just jot down,
is a good job.
You know, whatever I was going to put in the book. And I just had pages and pages and pages of, you know, information. And I just had to reminisce back on my life when I was coming up, the stories that I wanted to tell, you know, and people could relate to it, because like you say, the time when I was on the railroad tracks, you had experience on railroad tracks too, but you crossed them. Me and my friends, we ventured along the railroad tracks.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I tell some stories about being on the railroad tracks.
Yes, yes, you certainly do. You certainly do. But tell me, does writing energize you, or, you know, are you exhausted, or, you know, how does it make you feel?
It really didn't energize me, because I never considered myself a writer. I just wanted to tell a story, and I was challenged with doing a book, because at the time Champion Sparkplug was looking for black ventures, and I thought I would like to do a movie of my life coming up in Hamtramck. So when they said, okay, you got a good story, but we need more than just talk, write a book. And I said, well, if it takes writing a book for you to do a motion picture, I'll write the book. So that's when I started my writing at work. I didn't hardly do any writing at home, because like I say, the job that I had, I could write at work.
Okay, well, that's good. You had that type of job. But tell me, the Champion Spark Plug, you know, they wanted you to write a book, to do something.
Yes. Now,
did they publish the book, or
no, they didn't.
Did they pay you for writing
it? They didn't do anything. They didn't even fulfill their end of the deal after I finished writing the book, because in the book I exposed how they ripped me off in an apprenticeship program. I had taken some tests, and I knew I had passed the test, because I used to be in an apprenticeship program at Ford Motor Company. So Champion, when I started working for them, they had an apprentice program going on. I took the test, and I was waiting on my results, and I never did get my results. And when I did get my results, they said I failed by 1%. Well, I was a little upset. I just couldn't believe I failed by 1%, because the job that I had at Champion entailed some things on an apprenticeship test. I went to a special school to learn how to take apprenticeship tests. So when they told me that, I was upset, but I just knew that I wish I could see those results. And one day I'm going to be able to find out, you know, is it those tests were real or not. So I knew the industrial relations guy, and he set it up for them to tell me and explain to me why I failed by 1%. And they had 4 guys on a panel, and I went into the room, I sat down, and they said, well, you did good in math and mechanical ability, but you know, you only missed by 1%. So, you know, they didn't want to look at me eye to eye, and just something was fishy about that whole interview, you know. So I left there still upset. But it was a couple years later, this black guy named Mitch Maples, we call him Colonel Maples, he was in the military, and I befriended him through a friend of mine at work, and he was in the industrial relations guy. So I went into his office one time, and we were talking, and I asked him, you know, could you check something out for me? they told me I failed this apprenticeship test, but I really believed I passed. And could you find out about those records? So he left his office, and me and Warren were sitting in his office, and he came back in, and he went to the filing cabinet. And he opened the filing cabinet up. He started going through this file, and he came to mine and pulled it out. And I seen his eyes sort of raise, and he said, "Come over here." So I went over there, and Warren went over there too. He said, you passed by 2.5%. I said, "Wow," so he was shocked too, So when I finished writing the book, I took it to Champion, and I had incorporated that apprenticeship test thing in my book. And when I took the book to Champion, they decided they didn't want to invest in that because I was incriminating them. So I did get the book published, and that was a blessing right there.
So, the same thing happened back then that's going on today. The same thing is going on today. But, tell our viewers, those who are interested in writing a book, when they write that book, what's the best way to market it?
Well, today you've got so many avenues, like with social media, and there are all kinds of companies that want to approach you to buy a marketing package, but it's going to cost. If you want to self-publish, there are people out there that will approach you from different venues to market your book for you, but it's going to cost. Now, to do it yourself is going to cost too, but you've got to know the game, and it's a game because, if you got something good, they can publish it or promote it in a positive way, and it'll spread around the world. But if you got something that they don't feel is going to be worthy of their, money to invest, then you're just going to be local, and whoever else you contact with to buy your book, purchase your book, if they like it, they'll go by word of mouth, But it's best to work with some type of a marketing program to get your book out there, especially social media.
Okay. So, listeners, what we do here, if you got a book out there that you want someone to know about, give me a call, 313-657-5556, or email me at wealths111@gmail.com, because we'll get you on our show. We'll get you on our show, and that is a start.
Yes.
That is a start. Okay, but tell me, you talk about camping trips. What about your camping trips?
Well, the camping trips were just wonderful because when I got married, we had a child when I met my wife, and then we had another daughter born a year later, and when they got 4 or 5, then we would go out camping, and it was good to get out in the nature, free, away from the city, just being out there, it's a
free spirit.
A free spirit, yes.
Free spirit.
At night, you're out there gazing at the stars. You have campfires. One time we went on an excursion. It was a 2-day canoeing trip where we had our tent and we canoe so far, and then we'd pull over to the side, we'd pitch our tents and, cook our own food, and just have a good time, talking about different stories around the campfire. And you always meet different people, and you would tell them about yourself, they tell them about themselves, and it's a way to, meet people and learn about other people, and a lot of things you would have in common.
Now your wife, you met her in Canada.
Yes.
Right, in Canada. And I like in the book where you said you and your friend went there and met this one young lady.
Yes.
And asked, did she have a friend?
Asked, yes.
So they went and got the friend, and you saw her.
I saw her.
And you said, "Oh no!" And you opened the door and said, "You sitting back here."
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's what started our relationship. When I seen her fell in love at first sight. And then we dated, you know. I found out she had a child because, you know, when gotten her in the car, I could sort of smell baby powder. And then she told me she had a child because I wanted to date her that next day. And she said, well, I have a child. And, you know, I'll see if I can get a babysitter. And that's when I said, oh, well, don't worry, bring the baby too, you know. And that started our romance to be even closer. And we ended up getting married about 3 months after that.
Wow.
You know, and so, yeah, we had a very wonderful marriage. And I don't want to get into all the details because I have to write another book to explain the ups and downs in that situation, you know.
Okay. Well, let's go back to June 1966. You were involved in a gang fight and ended up, there were 2 young men, black men, that were stabbed.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, I was with a friend, okay, and we were out at River Ridge Park, and it was a graduation, and after graduation we were out there partying, having a good time, and we were drinking, and everybody was having a good time, and my friend, he got into an argument with some friends of his that I didn't know, and when the argument broke out, him and another guy started tussling, you know, and another guy got involved. So I seen that, you know, they're messing with my friend, so I got involved to try and pull it apart, you know. And when I pulled it apart, me and this other guy started tussling. And so then they had more friends, and it was just me and my friend, so I had tussled this guy down to the ground, and I always carried a knife, so I pulled it out and told him, get back, and I'm holding down, you guys get back. So I'm trying to get JB and me to make a way to get out. And so the guy on the ground, he jumped up right into the knife, believe it or not. And so then everybody stopped. So me and JB made our exit. We got away. So JB said, well, these guys know me, man, and they're going to come over to my house, you know, and it's not going to end right here. I said, well, I got some friends, you know, I'll go get them, and then we can just have it out, you know. So
right.
I went, got 3 of my friends, and we came back, and JB said, well, you know, we're going to go to this corner where everybody hangs out at, and we went over there, and well, actually, I have to backtrack that. We went from before I got my friends, we went to the corner to meet those guys. And the guys came up to us, and it was 2 carloads, and they asked JB, where's your cousin? Because they were looking for the guy that they said stabbed their friend, you know. So JB said, man, look, let's talk this over, you know. It happened, it was an accident, you know, and I apologize, you know. They said, no, where's your friend? Where's your cousin? But they knew I was the one. So one guy was going to try and hit me. I don't know if he had an axe or stick, but, you know, all of them had some type of weapon, you know. So when the guy was getting ready to hit me, JB shot him. And then another guy was doing something, so I stabbed him. And then everybody ran and broke away. And I said, oh, my God, you know, here we are in this situation, you know. So I said it was like 2 cars of them. It was at least 5 guys in each car. It might have been about 10 of them. So I said, I'll go get some of my friends, you know, and I could only get about 3 guys to go back out there with me. And when we went back out there, there was the police came, and we were arrested, you know. They found the gun, and my friends, the next day, the police called us all into the room one by one, interrogating us, and I explained everything that had happened. So believe it or not, they let us go. But then later on, I was called in by a detective and then arrested, you know, and went to jail. A day and a half later, my mother got me out. And I talk about that in the book too, so people get an explanation, but it would take a long time to really elaborate on that deal. But it was just one of those situations when you're hanging with your friends and somebody get in trouble, you're backing them up, whether right or wrong. And sometimes it's not always the best thing to do, you know.
Well, you know, you're one of those friends, like I tell some of mine, if something happens, I'm glad you're with me. You know, you're one of those friends. But tell everyone how they can get your book again.
Again? Okay. Like
yeah, we want to keep pushing this out there. We want them to buy this book.
Definitely my website, God's Children.biz, B-I-Z, and that's the website. And like I said, on the website I got some videos that will give you a little bit of bio about myself and some things, you know, that you will enjoy. I have about maybe 5 videos. Even if you went to YouTube and you just put my name, Terrence S Lake, you would see about 9 videos of me. But those videos are on the website too. But the main thing is getting the book. And you can also get the book through your bookstore. Now, bookstores would be cheaper that route because you wouldn't have to pay for the shipping. But on my website, you go through Lulu Publishing, which is the publishing company, and you can get the book through them. They would mail it to you. Now, the book is on Amazon. It's on Kindle. I don't really promote them because I like to see the authors get the lion's share of the revenue from the sale of the book. But people that don't know me personally and people that use Amazon, that would be another route of getting the book. And Amazon is all around the world.
Right.
And they have a review of the book too, that you'd be able to see whether you liked it or not. You know, you'd be able to see what they have before you purchase the book. And you just go and Google my name, Terrence S Lake, or go to Amazon, Terrence S Lake, the author of God's Child.
Okay, but you need to get that book. But Terrence, tell us, why do you believe God is a woman?
Well, I say that in a facetious way because women have been held down since the day we were put on planet Earth. And now women are getting opportunities. Now, women just got the opportunity to vote when I was a kid, okay? And now women are getting the opportunities. Women are 60% of the students in the colleges, and women have something to bring to the table. We need diversity, you know, and that's why I say God was a woman, because God have always been known as he. Men sometimes think that he is the God, but they're not. You know, we're all God's children, and that's what we got to recognize, you know. And we were put on planet Earth to come together as a human race, you know, and that's really important, you know, very important.
Okay, well, you know, I want to let everyone know, if you need to get in touch with me, you can call me at 313-657-5556 or email me at gwealths111@gmail.com. You know, you can find us at bgntvgospel.com or YouTube. Okay, you can always go there. And we're on Comcast Channel 20 Detroit every Sunday at 11:30. Every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. But, you know, we've got just a few minutes left. And see, I can go back to that question I asked Terrence, because, you know, we can talk about that. But Terrence has a surprise for us. Terrence has a surprise. And Terrence, I want you to go right ahead.
Okay.
And give us our surprise.
I'm going to sing To Dream the Impossible Dream.
All right.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to be better far than you are, to reach when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star. No matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to be willing to give when there's no more to give, to be willing to die so that honor and justice may live. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still scrolled with his last ounce of courage to reach, oh, to reach the unreachable star.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for that. And you know, to reach the unbeatable star.
The unreachable star.
The unreachable star.
Yes.
The unreachable star. But to everyone, remember. But Terrence, before we go, because we only got a minute, but right quick, are you still writing? Do you have, can we expect something coming out soon?
Not soon, but I definitely have to do a part 2 because this book, I wrote it when I was 27 years old. I'm 72 years old.
Wow.
And there is much more to tell, much more.
Much more. Okay, so we can expect something to come from Terrence soon. So until next week, like I always say, remember God loves you, and who else loves you but Terrence and myself.
Absolutely.
So we'll see you next week. All right, Terrence? See you next week. I hope you enjoy Always Moving Forward with Renee.
Moving forward.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Vicki Winans, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
Hi, I'm Clifton Davis, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm telling you, everything that happened to me that was good, God did it. I'm Evelyn Turrentine, AG, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
This is Pastor D. Alexander Bullock of Preachers of Detroit, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
This is Bishop Edgar Van of Second Ebenezer Church in Detroit, Michigan, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
Hi, I'm Bernadette Stannis. You know me best as Thelma from the TV show Good Times, and you are watching Bell Global Network.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Vicki Winans, and you're watching Bell Global.
My name is Mike Duggan, and I'm watching the Bell Global Network.
Hey, keep it locked. It's your boy D. Hattie watching the Bell Global Network. You know how it is.
Hi, I'm Charlie Langton, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.
Hi, this is Martha Reeves, and you're watching Bell Global Network.
Grace and peace, family. This is Bishop Marvin Sapp, and you're watching the Bell Global Network.